Hello everybody, Zest here and welcome back to HOI4. As many of you know, in the Notes to Back update, the Soviet Union got a new focus tree, but there was one glaring omission: there was no democratic tree. The closest thing to democracy is this: return democracy to the party, which isn't really it, is it? So, what happened? Well, according to Paradox, there was not going to be any democratic tree in the Soviet tree. So in today's video, we're going to make the Soviet Union democratic. So let's begin, shall we? Research slots, no specialities here today, so just industry, electronics and so on. For our civs, we're going to be building civs. Anyway, for the mills, let's spam guns, limit the production of tanks and trucks, and spam convoys, because the Soviet Union starts in a deficit of convoys. Anyway, let's create an intelligence agency. We'll be upgrading this throughout, so cryptology, you get the idea. Anyway, 138 divisions. Let's gather them up and break them into some equal stacks, including you, the NKVD divisions, or as I like to call them, the Beria boys. Right, 24 with mountaineers and tanks, break those off, and let's change the tanks over to infantry. This is so the tanks are saved for later. There you go, 72 right now, and let's park those in the Romanian border. We'll put these 24 together, and we'll leave them in the back line, and the remaining 24 will go on the Turkish border. Our plan right now is to justify on Turkey, which we'll call on Romania, and we'll get them both for free. I should note this isn't necessary to ultimately go democratic, it's just something I'm doing today. Next, gather up the Air Force and exercise it. May as well, there's extra benefits there. And we'll put the entire Navy together, which is currently in Georgia. And that's all of our prep work out the way. So, again, we're not doing a focus right now, so we can get a justification on Turkey. So all that's left to do is to go to speed 5 and begin. And by the end of January, we'll just have enough political power to start justifying on Turkey. Wait a few more days so we have enough political power for the justification to continue. With 10 political power, it is now time to begin our opposition with the Exiles. We've begun to rally the Exiles, and now it's time for us to unify the Exiles in our opposition to the Man of Steel, who is suddenly quite concerned about factionalism. Right, we now have the option between the women's movement, the true Tsars, and national unification. Can you tell which one I'm going to do? Well, I lied. We're actually going to do transpolar flights. We need to do none of those three. Well, our first random event. And yeah, I'll take training activities curtailed for a little while. We're in a bit of a random game today. We want Stalin's paranoia, believe it or not, to be relatively high, but not too high. Anyway, transpolar flights allows us to do aircrew surveys for free, and let's also foster some flying clubs. Oh, the Spanish Civil War started, right on time. Let's send some air volunteers to the Republicans, who say no to us. The Republican AI can somehow tell once we've done the white opposition and will always refuse us. Unfortunate. There's the flying clubs, now let's expand aviation industries, and ban fascism. Oh, this is going to be a useful event. A general has been accused of treason. Unfortunately, there is no place in the army for such men, but this is useful for us. As you can see here, suddenly now we have 2 generals who have been cowed by Stalin. What does that mean? Well, Stalin has turned them into cows, but for our purposes, it means they're much more likely to defect. In fact, as far as I know, only leaders with this trait can defect to us, so we're going to use them. We're going to use Flip here against the Turks, and we'll use the other one on the Romanian side. The main benefit here is we're going to grind Flip here to give traits like Organizer Infantry Leader, so when he hopefully defects to us, we can use him as a very good Field Marshal. Because unfortunately, all of the White Exiles Field Marshal Generals aren't that good, so any defectors that we can get are very, very useful. And here's the Trial of the Xenonites. Does anyone actually know how to pronounce that? Because I sure don't. We're going to break up the Navy into 4 equal stacks and put them on aggressive, always engage, in the Black Sea, convoy raiding. The Air Force will be assigned to whichever general you have facing the Turks. So, assign him, in my case, to Flip. And our justification on Turkey is ready, so let's activate our battle plans on aggressive, and let's go. For Romania, the main thing is just to take them. Again, for Turkey, it's to grind. But the other main thing we want is XP for things like Professional Officer Corps, Queen of the Battle. You get the idea. Similarly to a recent Spain video I did, if you want to stop your attacks and let the Turks re-entrench, you could do that. But keep an eye on stuff like this. It's so unfortunate we have training activities curtailed. Well, the Romanian line is now pretty much in collapse. Obviously, just go for things like the victory points, and be wary of the mountains. They are still going to be a bit of an annoyance. And Flip has gotten everything I wanted. Anything else he gets now is a bonus. And there's the end of Romania. Whatever happens to them is your choice, but today I'm just going to annex them. And that will send Tukhachevsky's lot to help take Turkey. And that's that for Turkey. Also, do what you want with them. Annex for now. And that was pretty good. I got all that I wanted. Flip is now an organizer. We farmed Leonard as much as we could. Maybe when he defects we can make him an infantry leader. We'll see. But for now, we just need to wait for the inevitable. By the way, we're not spending our XP right now because when we rise up we'll lose politicized military and we'll get them cheaper. Well, I'll take that, see if it actually helps us this time. Wow, 2%. Right, 35 days until the anti-Soviet Trotsky is centre, so the time is now. We're going to save political power at this point. 5 days to go. Let's ensure our victory by any means. First step, division designer, create empty, infantry battalions, artillery, done. Next we're going to sabotage our production line of guns, deleted. Now we're going to change all our units, with the exception of the NKVD units which can't be changed, over to the artillery. There we go. There's our stockpile. Now we're going to send absolutely everything to Spain. Guns, tanks, planes, which have already disbanded. You get the idea. Anything that could be useful to us is going to be sent away temporarily. This means once we rise up, we can cancel it and get it all back, and it won't be split between us and Stalin, because we're not sharing today. You can even send the oil. Huh, we even managed to see some interwar tank chassis from Turkey. Funny. I thought Romania would have some FTs. Right, it's time. We're going to hold both of these events now. Do not click any of them. Now that Stalin's paranoia is over 90, every day there's a 20% chance of him starting the civil war. So we just need to wait. And there it is. War it is. To arms. Oh no. Look where we've been sent. We've been sent to Mersin in Turkey. Now you're probably wondering, why weren't you sent to Cheetah? Well, go back and look at the footage. I never selected a state. This is what happens if you don't. The game will just choose a state for you. But anyway, our plan to win is very simple. Change the artillery over to cavalry, cancel the Lend-Lease, and that's pretty much it. We're also just going to spam out a load of cavalry as well, as we have plenty of manpower. Deploy, go on aggressive. We just need to win as quickly as possible, which should be very easy as Stalin's units right now are rubbish. Let's even break his cipher, since that is available to us. Right, for focus now, we're going to do mode plan, cohesion first and rehabilitated military. We're going to spend our doctrine boosts. And go. It is time. Oh, and let's also get Flexor, because that's available too. Now, where is Flip? We're going to find him. We need to get to the Soviet core victory points, like, just for example, Bamati. Unfortunately, I don't think the Turkish states count for defection events. Luckily, we already got our first 26 out. It's go time. Right, you see this other side of the front? We're not going to bother with it. It's useless. We're just going to assign all of these units to this side. And there are our first core states. And first desertions as well. Any that we get, we could just turn into cavalry or dismantle. Either choice is yours. And here's our first instance of a barrier boy. The only units that can actually stop us. Oh well, just encircle them, run around them, do whatever. They can't stop us for too long. Like most runs though, just go for the big victory points. Moscow, Leningrad. The first big victory point, Stalingrad. Great. There are so many small victory points around here. Let's try and get them all. Moscow is ours, and we're just everywhere. In fact, it's nearly almost over. Don't think we're going to... Oh, just in time. Just in time. Flip realised we are the right side and has joined us. Right, you are going to be our field marshal. That's why I avoided giving too many traits to Constantine. I gave him charismatic, because why not? But our true field marshal has shown up. Logistics wizard, offensive doctrine, and charismatic. Just at the very end, you saw the right side. Maybe there's still a chance we can get the other guy? Probably not. And that's it. Treaty of Leningrad. The Soviet Union was annexed, we took 173 states, and we secured all of their remaining stockpile. That's it, we have won. quicker than I ever have before on this channel. I think the previous record was September 1937. Doing with this, we managed to do it even faster. And we got a good field marshal to boot. Right, now while it very would be fun to keep Tarsus as our capital, there is one thing we need to keep in mind. There is no supply hub here. And yes, supply has been changed, but it's still generally better to have a capital supply hub like in Moscow. So I think we're going to go to Moscow. But if you wanted to do something like that, I wouldn't blame you. It'd be so funny if you ended up with someone like Istanbul, wouldn't it? Or Ankara. This is also what I mean by getting traits in officer corps roles. We can now give Flip 4 potential roles, as we do not have many. Regrouping is probably a good one, so it's infantry specialist, but if any of these would be good, personally. That's why I hope to get another defector, so I could choose the infantry specialist for him. But oh well. I think for today, I think if infantry specialist is the best all around. There you go. And yeah, we'll have Tsaritsyn. Right, it's now time, at last, for us to consolidate our power. And this is where the magic happens. As you can see, consolidate power removes communism support, but we have no non-aligned support and no fascist support. So where's it all going to go? Well, where do you think it's going to go? Democratic support is on the rise. Now let's just continue down this focus street all the way down to the Zemsky Sobor, so Article 124. This is why you have to ban fascism. The support would be split between Democrat and fascism, which is just too messy. Just ban fascism, get it out of the way. Who would have thought that after all these years, Kerensky's popularity is on the rise again? Oh yeah, we've also set world tension ablaze, so Greece is currently justifying on Albania. If you want to cause some chaos, guarantee Albania and take Greece for free. And with that, democratic support is now going up 0.26 a day. Wow, a percent every 4 days or so. And as you can see now, our democratic support is over 60, which means we can hold the national referendum to flip democratic. There is one caveat to this though that I should mention. Depending on which path you want to go, it is important. If you want to go dismantling the Zemsky Sobor, don't do the referendum. Wait for the people to force it on you. If you want to go Romanov reconstruction, it doesn't matter. But if you want to go this way, dismantling the Zemsky Sobor, wait, because otherwise you will have another civil war on your hands. For us today, we're going to wait for the people to demand a referendum on us, which shouldn't be long. And here it is. Non-aligned debates democracy, because that's the name of our party. We need a referendum. And here we are, the Russian Federation, with the man, the myth, the legend, Alexander Kerensky as your leader. The impossible is now possible. Democratic Russia is possible in no step back. And hey, with our first election, we get early mode and limited conscription for free. Not going to complain about that. We have a white democratic Russia. Unfortunately, Kerensky doesn't have a portrait here, but believe it or not, the democratic reformer version of him does. And this is the only way you can unlock him. By somehow flipping democratic. You know what? You're hired, says Kerensky to himself. Oh, and I'm still not done. I've got one more thing to show. Give me a minute, and I'll have it ready. Funnily enough, when the Zemsky Sobor reconvenes, you will not flip non-aligned, although you do become green. You wouldn't expect Alexander Kerensky to restore the monarchy, would you? How rude. So look at this. For some reason, despite having done our Slavic commitments, we can also do the rightful heir to the empire, because that makes sense. These are surely all meant to be mutually exclusive with each other. And does this mean, yep, we could do a democratic Third Rome. This is almost something out of like Kaiserreich or Redux. A democratic Russia out of nowhere deciding to declare itself the Third Roman Empire. Oh. Did I do that? Might have. But I guess that did go somewhere. Now the Bulgarian Civil War is going to be part of the Second World War. And there we go. Third Rome. But we are still not done. I never used my referendum, so what do you know? We can flip right back. I present the democratic Third Rome. which according to this, Kerensky has now crowned himself not just Supreme Patriarch, but the Tsar of all Russias. Well, this escalated quickly, didn't it? Kerensky come back from exile, and now he's declared himself all of this of the Third Rome. Wow. I don't think Paradox intended this when they added this focus tree. If you're going to continue this, well, taking down Germany shouldn't be too hard. Just join the Allies, bypass Molotov-Ribbentrop. I honestly think you could probably do something like the Romanovs laughed last this way. It'd be mad and crazy, but I don't think it'd be impossible. This has been a wild video, hasn't it? We started at the Soviet Union, we rose up from Turkey, from Tarsus, managed to take down the entire Soviet Union with just cavalry, we brought Kerensky back, we became the Third Rome, we became a democratic Third Rome. Wow. This has been a fun video to record. Would have been a little easier if I hadn't been so stingy on getting a defector like Flip here. Like I said, it's not actually necessary to do the War of Romania and Turkey, I just did it to show off that you can get this. If I was going to do this faster, I would have tried to start the Civil War at the trial of the Zenonites. As long as Stalin's paranoia is over 90, he should start the Civil War for you. But this is where we're going to call it. So until next time everybody, this has been me, Bubble Zest, doing all of this as Democratic Russia, Third Rome, whatever you want to call it. But until we meet again, goodbye.